Hi guys. Okay, so little vid today on this little bad boy. So been doing a few things on the tinyhawk freestyle and posting some videos up on that, and this was a natural progression really. I like to use the Insta360 Go, and one of the problems with the Insta360 Go original, because I can't use ND filters, is jello. So this mount here, that's been invented by Gevaso FPV, I hope I said that right. I'll put a link in the description to his channel, well specifically this video that he made about this mount, and the Thingyverse link. It's an Italian guy, and he invented this thing to get rid of the jello. I had this one made for me by 3D Aqua on eBay. That's Lee. I sent him the Thingyverse file, and he made it for me. I'll put a link to one of his products, and you can contact him through that. He's a good contact and a good guy. So the way that this works is it's quite a soft mount. And it's got two O-rings that, so you hold the two pieces together, so it allows some movement, and therefore takes out the vibration. He in his Thingyverse files you can get a 20 degree and 30 degree mount for this. I've been playing around with different O-ring sizes. You can I've been using 11mm, 2mm, 11mm rings with 2mm thickness, and 12mm rings 2.5mm thickness, and I'll be doing different tests around that to see what works best. And I'll probably muck around with a bit of foam in between and stuff as well. The black that you can see on here is Tessa tape, because I found that when I put the camera in, it was a little bit loose for my nerves, shall we say. I didn't want to lose my camera on my Tinyhawk 2, and the previous mount that I had, it was a lot tighter, so I've lined it with this Tessa tape and a couple of little bands here. I'm going careful not to block up the holes, because one of the things with the Go as well is it tends to get hot, especially as when we use it in the FPV 5-minute recording mode. It really needs that cooling. So this has been specifically designed for the Tinyhawk 2, this mount. These nut bolt spacings, and this arm here is to hold the antenna. So yeah, this is supposed to get rid of the jello. So we're going to give this a go, play around, and I'm going to show you my original mount. We're going to do a full daytime bright sunshine test. I'll show you the original mount and some footage from my original mount, and then I'll show you the footage from that, and you can draw your own conclusions. So yeah, let's see what it can do. So for the comparison, I mean, you can see it's in a nice TPU mount, and I've actually mounted that on a bit of foam, and then it's held on with various zip ties, and I've not done that too tight, and it performs really well. But like now we're going to see the daylight performance, real bright sunshine, and unfortunately we're going to see that baited jello. But yeah, let's have a little fly, and you can see for yourself. Alright, so here we go with the original mount. I had this mount for a while. I'm doing this now in, as you can see, peak sunlight, the Go's worst nightmare. And there we go straight away when you see it starting to flatten on the horizon there. This is the mount that's zip tied on. It's TPU mount zip tied with on foam, and you see it fluttering through the whole image there. Look at it go, jello central. Like I said, this is as bad as it gets. Looking into the sun, full daylight, high in the sky. It don't get much worse for the Go, really, if you want to really put it through its paces, let alone the fact that it's on a cheap quad. I mean, this is the tinyhawk 2 freestyle. If you get hold of the tinyhawk 2 freestyle motors, you can lift them up and down. You know, they got a lot of movement in the bells, a lot of vibration. It's a tiny little frame. You know, the motors couldn't be much closer to where the go is and everything. So it's not an easy challenge for the go to be jello free on this. You put my go on this mount on my Jep RC Cinepro, no problem. Looks great. So there we go. You can see it vertically going through the image and everything. So we get a good clear indication of the jello. Now I want to be able to put this on this quad. That's really the point of why I got the go. This quad weighs just over 100 grams with the go on. I mean, that's so light and so tiny, and that means there's a lot of situations where I can strap this on that and do things in places, around people, buildings, that I just couldn't do with a heavier quad. So I really want this to work. So we're going to try out the other mount and see how well it does. I mean, it's never going to be a naked GoPro. If you want a naked GoPro, then use a naked GoPro. I've got a naked GoPro. I use that for other situations. Wow, that's bad jello there. But for this, if I put the naked GoPro on the freestyle, I get just the shortest flight time. It can't fly the same, and there are other quads for that. This is a different thing. I mean, I think of my quads like camera lenses. I've got a different quad for every different situation, and I'm all about the filming, to be honest. I'm all about filming. So that was a good indication there. Classic jello Insta360 Go. So let's check out the other mount. I'll shut up for that one and let you see what it does. Okay, so here is the anti-jello mount. This is test run 1, and we'll see how, or if, fingers crossed, it sorts out the jello. Let's have a little look. Wow, there you go. I think we can all agree that that was a dramatic improvement. Dramatic. Did we completely get rid of the jello? No. No. But did we get rid of like 90% of it? Yeah, we did. And there's still some room for manoeuvring to try and improve it a bit more. We can play around with different O-rings on here to give this different rigidities. and we can get a bit of foam in here, which I think is going to help. So there's a few things we've got left to complete this, and I think considering we can't get an ND filter on there, and that was in blazing sunshine, I'm pretty impressed. So Gevaso FPV, nice one, dude. Great job. It is not attached on mine how he intended it. I don't think that makes a difference. He intended it to be screwed on, but I wanted a bit more room. A bit more room for my battery, and I wanted the camera to sit further forward. If I just zoom in on that for you, you can see I've got one zip tie that runs through some holes that I pushed through there, around the back of the frame, and then on the top at the back here I put 2 zip ties there. I mean, that's solid. And I got rid of the antenna holder because my antenna didn't need it. And you could see, even with me pushing that a bit further forward, because it is quite a if you can see, that's where the bolt hole is, where my prong is, and the bolt's back here, so obviously this sits quite a lot further back. That's the one thing that I would say is I quite like it further forward, because even with that, you did see in that video there was a moment or 2 moments where you caught the props. So I think it's better slightly further forward, and it handled it really well. I mean, I put that through, really put it through its paces, I think. I like this too. This as much as you think, oh my god, that's really loose, it's on there, but it gives a bit of forgiveness. If you hit something, then you stand a real chance of the Go surviving and, you know, not being a one-hit wonder. Before, I put a bit of foam stuck to the front here, and I think I'm going to do that again and just make it so it sits the same level as the lens, and that way you've just got that extra bit of security to try and protect that lens, because once you scratch the lens, obviously, well, it's all pretty much over. So I think this is a superb addition. I think it's a superb addition to this little quad. It allows for that HD footage. Okay, it's not a GoPro, we talked about this in the review, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. It is what it is, and for what it is, yeah, it's brilliant. I think I will probably get a Go 2 at some point and see what I can do with that, because I do like the idea of the ND filters. But these bad boys are coming down in price all the time now, obviously because of the Go 2, so it makes it another relatively cheap option. You've got, say this is your only quad, or you're an intermediate coming up through the hobby, and you get yourself one of these to be learning freestyle, and you want more than that that DVR footage, which, you know, let's be fair, it's like an old VHS tape that's been paused way too many times in one place, or recorded over 100 times. It's pretty sketchy, and this does give you just better footage. It's just better. So you can now get these second hand for like 100 quid less. Worth it, definitely worth it. So overall, I'm really happy. I'm going to play about with this a bit more. I'm going to see if I can get that little bit even better than what we got it there, and I've got confidence in that's going to happen. And then look out for my next video, because as much as I said I wouldn't do it, I'm going to put crossfire on this. Do you need crossfire? No, you know, everything else I've run is crossfire, and I tried to swoop down through the tractor trails through the corn in a 10 acre field yesterday, and the penetration on this free sky wasn't good enough, and so it fail-safed, and that took me a little while to find this tiny little dude when I didn't record any DVR. Top tip, always record DVR so you can find your quad easier. So I'm going to do a video soon, just putting the crossfire on there just to get greater penetration. It's not about the distance so much, it's just the penetration. So look out for that one. So there we go. Thanks a lot, Gevaso FPV. You are a legend, mate. And again, check out the link in the description to this video that he's done about this mount and the Thingyverse file. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope it helped, and please hit that like button. It genuinely really does help me and gives me a little boost as well. You know, these videos take me a lot of time and effort, and I do really appreciate the likes. God forbid a subscribe. So yeah, cheers, support the channel. Thanks a lot.